Who do you give your information to? Why do they need it? And what are they doing with it? Is it necessary for access to everything online? Hello, we're Team 2, the big picture, and we're discussing the issue of data privacy. Specifically, we will talk about the perspectives of business, government, and society in relation to who owns the rights to data and what role privacy plays in this. We will analyze the issues, look at the opportunity and challenge, and provide a solution. In today's world, information is everywhere and readily available. We gather information and learn through search engines and communicate through social media. We shop, work remotely, gain university education, make appointments, and entertain ourselves online. As this has changed how we interact and go about our daily lives, it has brought a host of complex issues. Since technology has rapidly advanced, data has not only become more valuable, but data privacy has become a growing concern for people, governments, and businesses. Data and privacy concerns have the potential to both benefit all of the parties involved, but it also has the potential to hurt them all as well. This has become a contested issue in our society. Tensions exist between all the involved parties, as some want the information to be used for benefit and some do not want to give up their information and privacy. The ongoing debate is who has the right to the information and who it belongs to. For example, when businesses develop the complex algorithms that gather a variety of information, do they own that information? How is that information separated from company data? In comparison to the rapid development of technology, regulation has been slow moving. The Privacy Act was never meant to supervise the mass transit of personal information that is available on the internet, and companies have started mining and monetizing the data. This must be balanced with the freedom of expression. At the same time, privacy rights must be balanced with the growing knowledge and information economy that has sprung from the use of this data. All three groups have separate perspectives that must be heard and taken into account before any changes are made. The role of government is complex because they must balance protecting privacy rights with the freedom of expression, growing the economy, and public well-being. At the same time, governments require data to be more effective, and they gather a large amount of data. The experience they have in leveraging information can be used advantageously to benefit businesses and society at large. They must define and craft the technical, operational, and legal requirements for exchanges of information. Currently, the regulations surrounding data privacy is outdated and slow-moving to implement. Often by the time they implement new regulation, it is outdated by new technology and various uses of that technology have grown. At the same time, overregulation can stifle innovation and growth in the economy. An excellent example in another industry is the sharing economy, with businesses such as Uber versus taxi companies. If you overregulate new companies such as Uber, you can stifle the innovation that has launched the new facets of the industry. Thus, regulation must be crafted to allow growth without taking advantage of the individuals. The regulation must enhance security and be efficient enough to be implemented quickly and effectively. The privacy of data is also complicated from a government perspective because some information is both private and public, and some private information is needed by the public and the government. The government must define the boundary between these two through regulations. As an additional perspective, they have the opportunity to develop or commercially fund solutions to this issue as they become available. An example of a solution that a government has developed is the U.S. Health and Human Services Blue Button Initiative. The user is given control over all of their information and who has the right to see it. The information is securely stored and convenient to access and share. An additional challenge is the lack of consistency across countries and jurisdictions in regard to regulation. This makes it difficult for them to craft regulation as this data and information is not limited by lines on a map. In conclusion, the perspective of the government is to advance the causes of business and societal perspectives, since they have a responsibility to both and because the three stakeholders are interconnected. As a whole, businesses benefit from having personal data available to them, because as technologies that capture and analyze data proliferate, so too do businesses' abilities to contextualize data and draw new insights from it. Businesses use the data collected in a multitude of ways. Consumer data is used for improving customer experience, refining marketing strategy, and using data to secure data. But how do businesses store this data? Many businesses utilize cloud computing, which has its own strengths and weaknesses. Businesses have already spent over $100 billion on cloud computing. Advantages include dramatically lowering the cost of entry for smaller firms that are trying to take advantage of computer intensive analytics. It also makes it easier for businesses to scale their services, which are extremely dependent on accurate information. Storing data also allows businesses to flex their green muscles. It appeals to businesses looking to shrink their carbon footprint.
According to a Forrester survey, over 41% of people in IT believe energy efficiency and equipment recycling are important factors that need to be considered. In the same survey, 65% of people believe the reduction of energy-related operating costs is the driving factor for implementing green IT. Having data stored electronically also brings risks. As individuals and businesses increase information sharing and communication via the internet, vulnerability to attack or intrusion rises. With so much information, such as credit card numbers, SIN numbers, and other valuable data stored electronically, it makes for a prime target for hackers and fraudsters. Also, a lot of businesses entrust the storage of data with a third party. Large organizations are wary of entrusting vital data to cloud computing, where the providers cannot commit to the high quality of service and availability guarantees that are demanded in such environments. Individuals are also divided on this issue. Business and government using data has made some people's lives more convenient through such things as targeted ads. In many ways, the sharing of data has improved the quality of life for many people through benefits such as online work, education, and shopping. On the other hand, society is becoming more aware of some of the consequences of lack of control over their data, such as identity theft. There is also the issue that targeted ads and media can be seen as reducing individuals' choices and essentially making those decisions for them. There has also been a growing voice for compensation over the use of personal data. It is an asset that is being monetized by businesses, while the providers of that data receive no consideration. Additionally, there is a desire to know exactly what information is being used for. Due to the number of large-scale breaches of companies such as Starwood Hotels, where millions of individuals' data has been stolen, citizens are becoming more invested in the idea that these companies that are collecting their data should ensure that it is secure. These breaches erode the confidence of the users in the institutions that are gathering the data. Currently, international human rights standards inform society that they have the core right of privacy. Balanced with that is the right of freedom of expression that individuals have. It is hard to know which takes priority when, leading to confusion. Some citizens feel that they have the right to have their information removed after a certain period of time. This concept is not new and is already being used with criminal records. This is a similar idea. The vast amount of personal information that is online has no use to the public, but could drastically affect such things as credit card ratings and job opportunities. In conclusion, a general perspective is the concern of who is using personal data and for what reasons, while at the same time appreciating the convenience that data sharing brings through a catered experience and vast opportunities. There is also a different degree of concern among people. Some care deeply about their data privacy, while others do not. The opportunity comes into focus when you see data as a new asset class, an asset that has an immense value potential. The largest challenge of when it comes to providing an opportunity is how to align all the stakeholders and provide equal benefits to all. Policies, incentives, and rewards must motivate all to fully participate. To accomplish this, an infrastructure to enable secure and efficient exchange of data must be developed and have a value proposition for everyone. In essence, this must become a virtuous cycle that creates more value, involves more information, and less legal and regulatory costs. That is the factor that will tie the challenge into the opportunity and value creation in a balanced ecosystem where there is equilibrium. Currently, the ecosystem is unbalanced as there is a race to collect more and more data between companies to create a competitive advantage, which has begun to alienate users. The data collection industry is underregulated because it is not caught up to the advancing technology, leading to further imbalance, which in turn creates an imbalance for individual users, as they have little control over their data once it has been collected, and information is required to do most things online. In order for all stakeholders to align, the data ecosystem must be balanced to provide equal value to all. The opportunity that will overcome this challenge through value creation and equilibrium is a trust framework, specifically a trust framework developed in Canada for medical records. The US Blue Button Initiative is an example of this type of trust framework. A trust framework is a legal and technical infrastructure with documented specifications that is operated by a third party, with one sign-in for users and relying parties. Users will have one credential that is used to access multiple sites. The trust framework holds the responsibility to verify the identity of all users so the relying parties can be assured who they are doing business with. This will lead to minimal requirements for data sharing, as relying parties will no longer have to require vast amounts of information to identify individuals and protect against fraud. Users will have the ability to decide what information to share with who and how that information is used. Data will be transferred in a similar method to currency in exchange for benefits that do not necessarily have to be cash. Data will be safely stored and transferred from a microserver for each individual. Individuals' digital identity will be consolidated in one location, with only the individual in control. Then they have the ability to access all the benefits of the internet while sharing as much or as little as they desire. Trust will be developed between all users and value will be given to all. Challenges that currently exist are that the infrastructure needed to serve a vast amount of people has not been developed as of yet, and the economics are still uncertain for all the parties involved. Additionally, you'll need to convince the relying parties of the value of this relationship, as opposed to currently getting data for free for unlimited use. Fraud protection and trust of users will be essential to show value. Without a large amount of users, the framework will not be effective. The users have to be convinced of the value of this opportunity in security, benefits for exchange of data, and convenience. Finally, regulations must be fully developed for this new opportunity in order to ensure proper balance of data exchange, security of identity and data, and enforcement of adherence to regulations by all parties.